Aloha. Welcome back to Connect the Dots with Jenny. We're talking about the Diddy trial. Today is the first official day. It's May 12th. Okay. We finally got through jury selection. They've got their jurors. They've confirmed it. Let's break everything down because this is crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay. Jury selection is finalized. Today, the prosecution went in and strike down 7 jurors. It made the defendant, Diddy's team, upset. So they were arguing back and forth, and basically it's because they were black. There are 7 black individuals. The prosecutors gave detailed, long explanations as to why each individual needed to be struck, and they won. So we got the official people. They're important because they're the ones that's going to be deciding Diddy's fate. He's looking at life in prison. Okay, let's talk about Diddy's children. They all walked in together about 5 minutes before the trial started, and they walked in hand. Okay, that's showing like a united front, right? Now remember, there's going to be a lot of optics. For instance, like Diddy had hired a black female lawyer. He just did that last week, and he also had hired a black male lawyer. That's for optics because the prosecutors are all white women. It's a team, I believe, of 6 white women. So the defense team is literally trying to do the whole black versus white, trying to convolute the case and make it seem like it's something that it's not, and to pull the whole race card. Okay, so optics is going to play a huge role. Now, when we're talking optics, we're also talking about Diddy. Diddy was wearing like a gray sweater with like a white shirt, collared shirt underneath. He's got his all gray hair. He's got his glasses. So he wants that. It's optics, right? The things we're going to be discussing is like a lot of disgusting, gross things. And so he needs to play the part of looking like an old, innocent man. Like, how could this old gray-haired, all gray beard, all gray hair do something like this? It's optics. Don't forget about that. All this stuff is optics, okay? He also, by the way, came in with a Bible. A Bible. And he was reading the Bible, which, you know, from reports I've heard is like, oh, excuse me. From reports I've heard, it's like, oh, you know, it's heartwarming. Yes, reading the Bible is heartwarming. However, I don't trust Diddy considering everything that we've learned and heard about all this time ever since he got the raid on his house. And I also believe that's for optics. Okay. Moving right along. Oh my goodness. Opening statements, you guys. So I feel like the prosecutors came in strong. The prosecutors came in. We're gonna show you this, and this. We're gonna show you Cassie, who was beat. We're gonna show you the video where she was kicked and punched and thrown around. Okay. They talk about how they're gonna bring out Mia. She, I believe, was a employee. How she was R-word and SA'd by the hands of Diddy. Okay. They talk about how they're going to sorry, I'm reading my notes. They're going to bring out, there's going to be employees that's going to be testifying, personal assistants. That's a S, like plural, assistants. So I'm assuming that there's more than one. They talk about chief of staff, which is KK, Christina Coram. I assume that she would be testifying because she was his right-hand man. So to save herself, yes, I would assume that she's also going to be testifying in this. We don't know yet. But today was still bizarre. We got so much more to cover. Alrighty. His personal chef will also be testifying. The prosecutor talked about how the staff were told to bring cash to pay the escorts, how they were told to gather drugs, procure drugs, how they're going to show text messages showing that Diddy tried to pay off the security guard to get that video of him beating Cassie in the hotel. He was going to pay him $100,000 in cash. They came in swinging hard. They came in citing facts and evidence that they're going to provide. They brought it. Then it was now the defense team to start to go up and do their opening statements. And oh my God, it was weak. They literally start by saying, this case is about love and jealousy and money. That these women, Cassie, anybody who's going to come testify, basically was in love with him, jealous of Kim Porter, and they just want money from him. I don't know if he realizes he's been sitting in a federal detention center since September, and it's not these ladies. These ladies are getting money from him sitting in the detention center. It's the federal government that's going after you for all these charges. So that's such a weak defense. And for him having 8 to 9 lawyers, I would have expected something stronger. So his defense is basically trying to say he was a swinger. He was in these relationships, but they were jealous that he was a swinger and that he would go and have consensual sex outside of the relationship, and it made them jealous. And but nothing that he did was ever criminal or illegal. Okay. That's his defense team. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say about what they're oh, yeah. And you know what? In the opening statement, I don't know which lawyer exactly it is that did the opening statement, but they say that they are honored to represent that Sean Combs is a music, like the music man. And if you wanted to make music, you had to go to him or through him, and that they are honored that they get to represent him. Like, I feel like that's such a stretch to say something like that. And why would any lawyer say something like that? Like, especially given the charges that he's being charged with RICO, with sexual trafficking, like coercion. I mean, who says I'm honored to represent you? Anyways, moving forward. So we know for sure that Cassie is going to be testifying and that her lawyer was in court today. She wasn't in court, but she will be testifying by the end of this week. Her video was shown today. What I am so impressed by is the quickness and the speediness of this judge. He's like sticking to his word of what he said he was going to do. He is like a speedy trial, because the thing is back during jury selection, which was last week, it was hard for them to even find jurors that didn't know anything about what was going on with anything about Diddy. So, I mean, I thought for sure, oh, that's jury selection is not even going to be done last week, which they wanted it done last week so that they could start the trial today. Judge made sure today they had it done, and they immediately started taking opening statements. And we thought, okay, the most he'll do is opening statements. No, they did opening statements, and they started having witnesses come up and testify. So there's 2 witnesses that came up and testified. One was a security guard who worked at the hotel that Diddy beat Cassie up at. So he came in to attest of what he saw. And then there was a male escort who they hired, the man that they hired that was in that hotel room. I'm pretty positive, don't super quote me, but the male escort in that hotel room when that event happened where Diddy got hit and beat, he testifies that he saw Diddy hit Cassie. Okay. So right off the bat, we have strong evidence, and the judge is like not wasting any time. I give him so much credit because the feds is known to drag and known for things to take really, really long. And he's like, nope, let's move it right along. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Because I thought for sure this case was going to be at least 8 to 12 weeks. But the way he is moving, I really don't see it being 12 weeks long. We shall see. Okay, moving on. Brian Steele, who is Diddy's lawyer, was cross-examining the witnesses. And so he cross-examined the male dancer, and the male dancer said that he was paid $4,000 to come to that hotel room. Cassie's the one who arranged it. Cassie was texting him, and Cassie, he sent like a DICK pic to Cassie. He claims that Cassie said he has the biggest DICK that he's ever seen. And then Brian Steele's like, well, tell me more. I mean, obviously they're trying to get that to somehow incriminate Cassie, right? To basically dismiss her so that by the time she gets on the stand, right? I already told you, right? She's going at the end of the week, and she's like pregnant. She's like pregnant, which I think is going to play a huge role in the fact that they're going to watch Diddy beat her up in the hotel. Then they're going to see her on stage pregnant. Like, you want to talk about optics? That's not a good optic for Diddy. Okay. We're going to see how this plays out. So let's go back to the security guard. Security guard was, testified and cross-examined. He stated that he witnessed it in the camera, so he went up. I believe he said that Cassie had left in an SUV, and he went back up to the room to tell Diddy to take pictures of the damage. Apparently, there's damage in the hotel room, broken bars or whatnot. And so he went to go and take pictures, and Diddy kind of gave him lip, and he like pinned Diddy up onto the wall. Brian Steele, Diddy's lawyer, was cross-examining him in regards to that. Now, what's kind of happening now is that they're painting Cassie to be almost like a co-conspirator. Okay. Because Diddy would have her order these escorts, would have her pay for them. And that's where it comes into the RICO, right? Because he was like the head of the enterprise, and he's telling all these people all these things they need to do. Right. So a lot of people are turning around on Cassie, which is a very smart move for the defense, because what they want to do is they really want to bring her credibility down, right? And so basically they're trying to make it seem like, oh, Cassie was a part of it. But the reality is if you are in a domestic violent relationship, and the woman, first of all, like they said, it takes at least 7 times for a woman to finally leave her partner. And the amount of strength and bravery that it takes for her to do that is a lot. And so, I could see how, and they're speculating, that Cassie didn't have a choice, because Cassie was literally being abused. And actually, I've read a lot of reports about how he just really would strong arm people and anyone to his will, and that it's like he got whatever he wanted, and that was it. That's that. You never went against him. You never spoke against him. So I could see how a lot of these people who are going to be testifying, who were his employees, had no choice but to do Diddy's dirty deeds. Period. They didn't have a choice. Otherwise, they would be abused. They would be retaliated against, harmed in some way. Okay. Lil Rod, I don't know if you guys remember Lil Rod. He was a music producer that worked with Diddy on his Love album, and then came out to claim that on sexual assault from Diddy. He was sitting in the courtroom today. There was a lot of people that was in the courtroom today. The thing was like packed. And so there was an overflow room. Gloria Allred apparently was in the overflow room. Let me see. Oh, also the video footage that they're seeing is the one that the security guard, he witnessed it and he was recording it. He recorded it on his phone, because the next day when they went back, the recording was gone. And so I'm assuming Diddy already got that recording, paid for it, and went and got rid of it so that nobody would see it. However, that security guard recorded it on his iPhone, took it home, and showed his wife. Now, I think that's just really bad character to do that. You literally could have taken that to the police. Although that being said, there's a lot of talk about how Diddy had paid off a lot of law enforcement anyway, so who knows if it would have gone somewhere. But he could have helped prevent a lot of other people by getting hurt from getting hurt if he would have reported this stuff. I think that's kind of messed up. I think that's all I'm going to carry. That's all I'm going to cover for today. Thank you so much for joining. This thing is messy. I think Diddy's case is weak. His defense is weak. And I think, to be honest, here's what I think they're going to be strong in. They hired Brian Steele, who's going to be great at cross-examining the witnesses. That's where I think his strength is going to be, because I think at this point they have so much evidence against him that the only thing that is going to help them, Diddy's case, is if they break down the credibility of every person who comes up there to testify. And I think that is the strongest defense that he has on his side. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining. You guys, tune in next time. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything else you want to hear, and I will be back pretty soon. I'll drop something soon. Aloha, have a great day.